Welcome to another episode of the Promo Podcast. I am your host, Antoine Jones. As always, I want to thank everybody who's tuning in today. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend, all the good stuff, share, whatever. Get it out there. Let the peoples know what we're doing over here. I wanted to quickly recap tonight's Raw episode. And as the title says, it felt like it was a heel day for sure. It felt like all the heels came out, all the heels were victorious, all the heels went home happy. Um, not necessarily a bad thing. I think they're pushing some storylines or creating some little confusing, but I thought it made for a very entertaining Raw. I thought it made for a very surprising Raw, and then I think the finished almost feels like it's on brand with what they've been doing, trying to build the heel faction of Seth Rollins and the Braun Browns. But let's rewind, get back to the beginning. I thought coming out with CM Punk and LA Knight basically discussing and explaining their frustrations with Seth, and obviously both of them feeling like they deserve a title shot. Um, you can kind of see a mile away they were on the verge of butt heads, right? So that's kind of what they do. And obviously last week CM Punk kind of interfered with the match. I'm not necessarily saying it cost LA Knight the match out. LA Knight obviously I don't think had any chance to win, but he took that personal. He felt like it, it wasn't your place to interfere. It wasn't your place to come while I'm getting my title shot and wait in the back of the line. Entertaining TV, watching the two of them go at it, and then obviously having Paul Heyman and the Braun Browns come out. The match set up for a tag match at the end of the night, and you just knew it was going to be same old shenanigans, right? You just knew that. We move on to the Judgment Day and Dominique having a tag team partner in El Grande Americano, which is a weird pairing right now because of obviously who's behind the El Grande Americano mask, but they're going up against AJ Styles and the the match. I thought the tag match actually was entertaining. I was surprised it went on as long as it did. I don't think it was a bad thing, but I think they took like two uh, commercial breaks in between the match, and that surprised me. Having him and the Dragon pull off a couple of they had a couple of spots that I thought were pretty dope. The finish for this one, I don't know why I thought maybe AJ Styles was going to pull one off. Having Dominique get a couple of these wins under his belt, getting ready for Triple Mania this weekend, um, and now taking that moniker of the King of Luchadors is putting a lot on the aura of Dominic Mysterio, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's entertaining. I think it's awesome, and it's also, a building, increasing the level of push that he already has. He's already over with the people, but. I felt like maybe the storyline is going to, or I still believe so. The storyline is going to end with AJ Styles getting the Intercontinental belt off of him. So tonight you have El Grande try to get the steel plate in the mask, and it gets knocked out, falls on the ground. Dominique puts his mask on, put the steel plate inside his, and once he gets the opportunity, he headbutts AJ Styles. 1, 2, 3. El Grande Americano gets the victory. That was I felt like that was like a sign of things to come for tonight, right? Because you have the heels get a victory real quick, real early, and it's kind of like AJ Styles is still trying to fight, still trying to claw and get a victory over, let's call it what it is, an inferior opponent in Dominic Mysterio. You had the uh, Judgment Day backstage, it seemed like they were the girls, that is Rocco Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, kind of interfering or poking the nose in Io Sky's business, and you had them basically while Io Sky is talking to Pierce about not getting her title shot because obviously Naomi's injured. I don't know if it's a work or not. Uh, it's hard, tricky to say with these things. I'm assuming it's storyline driven, but I could be very wrong. And if I am very wrong, that's fine too. But the girls come up, basically talking slick as they normally do, and Io Sky challenges Roxanne to a match. Here we go. So they get in the ring and they go at it. And I thought it was a really interesting match. I thought it was very entertaining. And this is part of the sign of things to come that really caught me after this match, because it was a lot of good spots. It was a really entertaining match, and I knew that with Rockwell out there, it was going to be a little tricky. They were going to do some shenanigans, but I still thought Io was going to pull it off. And then you have at the end, the Kabuki Warriors come out, and I didn't realize how big that storyline was going to play into, uh, future Io Sky storylines. But here we are. They come out, they kind of help her out with Rockwell, the Judgment Day, and um, Roxanne pushes Io into them. That causes her to get the roll up, pull on the trunks a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and get the heck up out of there. And now you have Io Sky have this surprising loss on Raw, which is very rare for her. Again, I did see it coming. I guess story driven wise, you don't know where they're gonna go. Uh, I'm assuming she's still gonna get a title shot. I don't know if she's gonna win or not. But now this loss may, do some damage to her psyche, or where they want to go with this. I think especially with the partnership of the Kabuki Warriors, I think that's going to cause some separation between the girls, and it already did. I mean, post match, you see them in the back going off, and you'll tell them she didn't need their help, having a little shouting match, and then they all part ways. You have Stephanie Vaquer pop up, basically saying that you're not the only one who was guaranteed a title shot. She walks off, and then Rhea shows up, and she's basically saying, "Look, I know that you're friends, but you can't trust them right now." And Io kind of like pumping the brakes on that, like, "Look, I know what you're trying to do. It ain't gonna work. I'm out of here." And that was interesting. That was unexpected. And now, according to my count, Heels are 2-0 now. So you also had Sami Zayn going against Rusev, and I'm assuming Sammy is, he's adamant he wants a title shot, and you feel that his momentum is bubbling up to like a title shot. Anyways, it feels like that's where his story is driving towards. And Adam Pearce says we'll see what happens after this match. Him and Rusev have a really good one, a banger. Uh, Before the match, you have Sheamus out there going off saying that he wanted a piece of Rusev, another piece of Rusev. They just can't stop getting at each other. They every Raw they throwing hands. So Sami Zayn basically tells him, "Hey, let wait till after the match to interfere. Wait till after the match. To get your hands on Rusev. Let me handle what I gotta handle." Sheamus complies, and it looks like Sammy has a chance to win. And all of a sudden, MFT pop up, and MFT do a number on Sammy, get the heck up out of there after security and all pop up. And on cue, after the match is over, Sheamus pop up and him and Rusev go at it. They in the in the crowd, they fight through the arena. They back at it again. It's like 4 Mondays in a row they've been doing this. It's nonstop. These guys don't know when to quit. After that, you get the Intercontinental Women's match, and obviously Becky Lynch had spoke to Natalya last week, and she was saying like, "Hey, I think it's time that you go against me, put that title on the line." And Becky says, "Yeah, sure, of course, why not? That's fine." And as Natalie is kind of, saying, "All right, bet," she goes, "Oh no, not you, Maxine Dupree. That's who I'm giving the title shot to." So it's expected. They go out there and they have I thought it was an interesting match, funny. The whole time Becky Lynch is just taunting the girl, telling her, "You don't belong in my ring. Get up out of here." Slight moves, not really taking the match serious. I thought Maxine had a couple of good spots, and then as expected, she gets that arm lock on her. And Maxine taps out, and I don't know exactly you know who Becky is gonna face, who can take the title from her. But right now, she's on the heel run, and she's going out there talking her trash. It's nice to see that she's defending the title, but it hasn't been match competition that I expect to defeat her. So I'm interested to see where they go with this. Obviously, I do believe building that heel momentum that she has right now is vital for what goes up must come down, right? So the higher she's up, I think the greater the fall is going to be. I don't know who the opponent is going to be. Obviously, Lyra can't compete anymore for the Intercontinental title, not as long as Becky is the champ. And then you also had Bailey cut this really, really, really emotional promo, unsure of where she's at, don't know what to do. Feel like she's done a lot, but now she feel like she's like in no man's land in her career in WWE. And I'd like to see Bailey get a shot at that and win it. I mean, I felt like, that storyline with Becky beating her up and taking her spot at WrestleMania was one that they kind of like glossed over. The triple threat matches and constantly being in IC women's uh, the scene was really good for the storyline. It was really good for the title. It really boosted it up. But I think if you really wanna pay off Bailey's direction, I think you let her beat Becky for the title. That's what I believe. But back to the match, Becky winning is just as another notch on the heel belts, right? So now we got what, one, two. I mean, they've been winning the whole night. Even the Sami Zayn match is no contest. Uh, so it almost feels like, oh, okay, they about to sweep this evening. You finish it off with the big tag match and CM Punk, not AJ, I'm sorry, LA Knight come out, the Bron Bonds come out, and they have a good tag match. I think is key spots you expected to go as such. LA Knight kind of getting roughed up. He finally gets a tag in on CM Punk. CM Punk comes in there, makes some things happen. And it doesn't even feel like the match had an ending to it because Seth came out there and shut that whole thing down. And that's where I think the the story of Raw is being told right now, with this faction kind of just dominating, right? They're not even trying to really have honest matches. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, you had Bronson Reed just throw the chair at Jey Uso mid-match and, disqualify himself. They're not even trying to win matches. They just want to, like, assert dominance on the Raw roster, and that's what they've been doing. So, the three of them come out there and then they have their way with CM Punk and have their way with LA Knight, and then Jey Uso come out, and Roman's not here tonight, so they got Jay still. So Jay come out and they do their thing. They clear him out the ring as they're leaving. Adam Pearce pops back out and basically lets Seth know, like, hey, you're gonna be defending that title at Clash in Paris. Makes it a fatal four-way against LA Knight, Jey Uso, and CM Punk. I think this is gonna be an interesting match, but obviously they've revved up. They mad while they're outside of the ring, a little frustrated with what just took place. You got CM Punk and LA Knight inside the ring going at it, like just jabbering, jawing back and forth. Finally, they get to scrapping. LA Knight get up. I don't even think it was an accident. He just kind of bow, took Jay down a little bit, and once Jay's down, CM Punk is down. Now Seth and the gang, they see an opening opportunity. They get in there, and they clean house again. Everybody everybody getting curb stomped. There's a wrap. Spears all over the place, tsunamis, whatever. They tear it down, and then that's how you call the night. And I think that was, the tale of the evening, where tonight it was just, the heels was winning all over. Even in losses, they were winning. They came off on top, and um, I don't know how long you want that image to be portrayed on a nightly basis, a weekly basis, where Seth and the gang, they're kind of just you know standing over everybody again. You want to build that heel storyline, and that's what they're doing with them. But at some point, you want it to feel like there's a little vulnerability. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the story they want to tell. Maybe they want it to look like a ruthless, uh, dominant uh pack of dogs, and that's what they've been the past few weeks. And I'm not sure if it's going to continue, but it does make for great TV, and it's been interesting up until this point. So that was tonight's Raw recap. Again, I thought it was just happy heel day. Everybody got the wins. um i think uh I think we had a interesting night. I anticipate that we'll have a interesting night tomorrow for NXT, and Friday I'm looking forward to seeing what John, Cody, and them do. But you know, we gotta wait. We gotta wait and see what's up. So, anyways, this has been the promo podcast with your boy Antoine Jones. Until next time, peoples, y'all be easy, be safe. Sub, like, share, let your peoples know, man. All right, be easy.